I know Matt Gaetz is at the house like, why won't this just die? Why won't this scandal, this story, these accusations, this low part of my life, why won't it just go away? Meanwhile, I'm ecstatic that it won't go away. Yes, Matt Gaetz's name is back in the news regarding that same old scandal. You remember that scandal, that sex trafficking scandal that the Department of Justice, for whatever reason, decided not to go after Matt Gaetz for? None of us, all of us are like, what? Why? Because it included minors? Well, it died down out in the political streets, but it's back. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Tabitha Speaks Politics. And yes, Matt Gaetz has denied these allegations repeatedly over and over and over again. At one point, the political streets didn't care that he denied the allegations. Kevin McCarthy didn't care that he denied the allegations. Every opportunity that Kevin McCarthy got to bring up those allegations, he did. He did. There is, from what I understand, an ethics investigation still ongoing regarding Matt Gaetz and these sex trafficking with minors allegations. But he was able to wiggle his way out of it from underneath the Department of Justice. It didn't matter because the Donald Trump supporters down in the state of Florida, you know, those allegations started before the midterm elections. And we all knew about those allegations before we went into the voting booth for the midterms. And they still voted him back into office. Anywho, I guess with this new filing, there's some new court filings that took place that has put Matt Gaetz back into the center of this scandal. And from what I understand, that if more evidence has come forth, the Department of Justice can reopen their investigation and they could file charges against Matt Gaetz if they get the evidence to support those allegations. Well, Notice came out and did an article on yesterday about these new court filings and what is in those court filings. We gonna, like we did Mr. Mark Robinson on yesterday, we gonna read this article in its entirety. This won't be a hot take. So yeah, let's get into what Notice is reporting. Notice is reporting that Representative Matt Gaetz attended a drug-fueled sex party in 2017 with the 17-year-old girl at the center of the alleged sex trafficking scandal, according to legal documents filed to a Florida federal court shortly before midnight on Thursday, this past Thursday, which cites sealed affidavits from 3 eyewitness testimonies. So, yeah, some eyewitnesses came forward and testified to what they saw, and now these testimonies are under they're sealed. And so all it takes is enough people to request that those affidavits be made available for all of us to see. And you know the media is going to be requesting it. I'm going to be sitting right here waiting to get my hands on those affidavits. But moving on. The minor, who was a junior in high school at the time, arrived in her mother's car for a July 15th, 2017 party at the Florida home of Chris Dorworth, a lobbyist and friend of Matt Gaetz. According to a court filing written by defense attorneys who interviewed witnesses as part of an ongoing civil lawsuit Dorworth brought in 2023. So he's suing somebody. Who he's suing, I'm hoping they're going to tell us, but he's suing somebody. And as a result of that lawsuit, we learned about Miss 17-year-old being at this party. Who he's suing and what he's suing for, let's hope this article tell us. The lobbyist claimed he had been unfairly dragged into the alleged sex trafficking scandal that has dogged Matt Gaetz and his allies for years. Dorworth ultimately dropped the case, but lawyers filed these documents in an attempt to recoup attorney's fees for a lawsuit they say should never have been brought. So I guess Dorworth brought a lawsuit against Matt Gaetz for pulling him into this sex trafficking scandal, and the attorneys are trying to recoup their fees because they said you shouldn't have never brought this lawsuit. And I guess as a result of all of this, we got these new eyewitness statements. One eyewitness cited in the court filings, a young woman referred to as KM, provided a sworn affidavit that claimed the teenage girl was naked. Partygoers were there to, quote, engage in sexual activities, and alcohol, cocaine, ecstasy, and marijuana were present. The teenage girl was identified in the filings only as AB. Quote, the discovery taken in this case to date reflects that on Saturday, July 15, 2017, Dorworth hosted a party at his residence with the following guests present. 1, AB, that's a minor girl. 2, KM, another minor girl. 3, BG, another minor girl. And 4, Matt Gaetz. Lawyers wrote in the filing also listing several others. The defense lawyers filed testimonies from those 3 women, girls, see, they're underage, so girls, who the attorneys say placed Gaetz in Dorworth's house that night under seal pending a judge's approval to make the records public. Let me read that again. The defense lawyers filed testimonies from these 3 girls who the attorneys say placed Gaetz in Dorworth's house that night. So, yeah, this is written crazy. I'm guessing that the attorneys are saying that these 3 girls placed Gaetz at Dorworth's house on that night, under seal pending a judge's approval to make the records public. Independently verified that Gaetz and one of the girls who testified were previously involved in a relationship. She is only identified in the court filings by her initials, BG. The congressman's ex-girlfriend's 11th hour testimony on September 3rd came just 2 days before Dorworth dropped his lawsuit, defense attorney said in the filing. The defense lawyers also relied on Dorworth's geolocated cell phone records, which showed that he communicated constantly with the congressman on that day. The defense's court filings show a hired digital forensic examiner identified Gaetz's number, which has a Florida Panhandle 850 area code, and texted back and forth 30 times that day, and then called Dorworth twice in the hours before the evening revelry. BG, another attendee at the party, confirmed AB's testimony under penalty of perjury, the defense lawyers wrote. This marks the first time that sworn testimony has been referenced in public court filings alleging that the congressman attended one of the long-rumored parties tied to an alleged underage sex scandal. Previous reports have revealed details of ex-politician and Gaetz' friend Joel Greenberg's confession letter that was never made public, which described how Gaetz would allegedly pay him to arrange several sexual encounters with young girls. I don't know why they are writing this article and referencing these girls as women. They were underage when this took place. They were girls, not women. Moving on. Let me read that sentence again. Previous reports have revealed details of ex-politician and Gaetz' friend Joel Greenberg confession letter that was never made public, which described how Gaetz would allegedly pay him to arrange several sexual encounters with young girls, including a 17-year-old girl. Greenberg is serving an 11-year prison sentence for a list of charges including fraud and sex trafficking with a child. There have also been reports of Venmo payment transactions that were also never released, showing the congressman paying Greenberg on at least one occasion. In 2021, Gaetz appeared on Tucker Carlson's Fox News show and asserted, quote, "The person doesn't exist. I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false." End quote. Matt Gaetz has denied allegations that he has ever had sex with a minor or participated in sex trafficking. The Department of Justice investigated Gaetz and ultimately declined to file criminal charges. Records show that AB, who was born in 1999, attended 3 weekly deposition sessions in July and testified in front of lawyers in Boulder, Colorado. The new details were released in a cache of court filings that were ironically made public as a direct result of the congressman's friend, Dorth, trying to make this disappear. When the DOJ dropped the investigation, Dorworth sued several people, including Greenberg and the women who claimed she was sex trafficked. The girls, she was sex trafficked by Gaetz when she was only 17. Dorworth responded by text message Friday morning, repeating his claim that he never met the teenager, not once. Quote, "She is also lying about Gaetz." End quote. Dorworth said his account is supported by a polygraph test he took years ago, during which he was asked about the alleged encounter, and he noted that he is still suing Joel, his parents, and his company in state court. He also took issue with the way defense lawyers referenced material that he stressed was confidential. So, the Department of Justice dropped their investigation. I'm guessing there was so much going back and forth that the Department of Justice couldn't make heads or tails of it. They didn't have enough evidence proving what went down. Okay, so they dropped their investigation or declined to press charges against Matt Gaetz. All right, Joel Greenberg is in jail for this very thing. And Joel Greenberg said, I don't want to be the only one going down, when Matt Gaetz was reaching out to me and having me to set up meetups for him with these same underage girls. And then this guy, Dorworth, said, y'all pulling me into some mess that I don't want to be a part of. And I'm going to sue Joel Greenberg for pulling me into this nonsense. That's what I'm getting from it, okay? For pulling me into this nonsense. So his attorneys was going through the documents or whatever evidence they had at the time and said, this is nonsense. There is not enough evidence for you to be filing this lawsuit. I can't make heads or tails if Matt Gaetz was a part of Dorworth's lawsuit or if it was just Joel Greenberg, who is currently in jail serving time for this same scandal. And as a result of this lawsuit that Dorwolf filed, there's sealed testimony, affidavits from these 3 young girls. Somebody, who's on first? Who's on first? Listen, it's all over the place to me. But Matt Gaetz is right there smack in the middle of it. And there's something there if somebody's in jail serving time over it. Y'all get down in the comments. Y'all let me know your thoughts. I know Matt Gaetz just wants this to go away, and it just refuses to die. What's going on with the ethics investigation? How long do they need to investigate? Now, will the people who are investigating him up in Congress, will they now dip their toe into these affidavits and what the lawsuit was? And we'll continue the conversation down in the comments section. That's where you guys get to let me know your thoughts. I'll see y'all in the next one.